Fairfield Federal, in cooperation with Interphase Video, presents the Lancaster Festival, live from downtown. Also brought to you by the Frank E. Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield DD, Buckeye Toyota, Fairhope Hospice, Walker Shoe Center, Personal Touch Party Rentals, Fairfield Parks, Buckeye Lake Marina, and Dagger Law.
Welcome to Lancaster Festival Live. I'm Paul Jasson. Great to be with you downtown on what each and every day, Monday through Wednesday, so far this week, keep our fingers crossed, has been just a glorious, wonderful, sunny day right here by the fountain on downtown, just opposite the rotunda behind us, where today the Lancaster Percussion is playing. A huge deal. I'm sure the crowds are massive over there, like they always are, and we'll hear from them later in the program. But again, I hope you're enjoying the Lancaster Festival. We've had a couple issues in the evening, and there may still be a couple pending out there. But again, I'm sure Deb and everybody is doing all the things they can. I guess the grounds last night, they got them up and running, and just a perfect evening out there once they got things cleaned up, and they had a great concert. And we'll have more on that later in the show too. So again, this is live Lancaster Festival. We're down here every day at noon, Monday through Friday. We got a couple of more days after this one, so we're glad you join us. Let's get things moving here with our first guest of the day, Kent DeLong. Kent is marketing director with the Buckeye dealership. The whole family, I guess you're with everybody, right? And there is a family now. You've got mom and dad, and then now a couple kids.
That's right, yeah. So we have the two stores here in Lancaster and then two Nissan stores up in Columbus.
So how long have you had the Nissan ones? Have you had them both at the same time? Did you acquire them both?
Well, Nissan was our original brand when it was Datsun.
Oh, and that before you came down here.
Yeah, so about 45 years
Datsun,
ago.
There's a name from the past.
And then when they transferred Datsun into Nissan, we just kept the moniker there. So our Hilliard location is our Nissan flagship store, and that's been at its current location since 1989, I think. And then we acquired our Georgesville location in about 2017.
That's the newest one.
That's the newest one, yeah.
And that kind of jogs something, and you probably would know this. Has there ever been any talk about somehow reusing the Datsun name? I think maybe I thought I read something about that just because it was so, organic and iconic.
I haven't heard anything, but that doesn't mean it's not.
That'd be interesting.
That rumor's not true.
Just another model coming out will make this one a Datsun 210 or.
The throwback, concept going back to like the 70s and 80s is popular now. So maybe, but I haven't heard anything.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
A year ago, just almost to the day probably, we had you on, and as I remember, our talk a year ago was about hard to get parts. Mm-hmm. It was, what do they call that, chain supply issues. Yep. I know you were doing your lot, so it looked like you didn't have any out there at some times because you had everything cleared off. Have we moved on from that?
I wouldn't say we've moved on, but it's gotten better.
Okay.
Of the brands that we have, Honda, Toyota, Nissan, Toyota's still a little lethargic about getting us inventory. The benefit to that, though, is that we don't have a whole lot of inventory on ground, and almost everything's sold before it shows up. But supply chain issues are still there. They're not as hateful as they were last year.
So you come in, don't see anything right there. You guys start looking around.
Yeah, and a lot of what we do. I mean, and again, I don't know what the percentage is, but a lot of our customers are repeat and referral.
Sure.
And I've been around long enough now that I've sold generations of families their vehicles.
Really?
And so they know the process. All of our locations have rental vehicles. So what we've been doing a lot of is just driving a rental vehicle that we have on ground that's similar to what the client wants. So that way they can at least get an idea of space and size and how the car is going to drive. And that
working out well?
It's been honestly a lifeline because otherwise we wouldn't necessarily have anything to show a customer. So that's working out.
Yeah. One thing we were talking before we went on camera here today, I think we all know here about the Buckeye Cares program.
Yes.
That is, as far as I'm concerned, an award-winning program. What a wonderful thing. And I'm sure the dozens of nonprofits that you've helped down here over and over again would attest to that. But your philanthropic arm, your wing of all the dealership family, that's continuing to grow.
Yeah, so at the beginning of the year, we made some internal changes, me being one of them, moving into this marketing director role. But we also established a charity foundation. So it's the Buckeye Automotive Family Foundation, and we do internal scholarships for our associates. We just wrapped one up. I think we selected about 6 or 7 associate family members that are going off to college or already in college, so we did some scholarships for them.
Nice.
But we're also partnering with nonprofits in the Fairfield County as well as Franklin County areas. We've done several community projects so far this year. We helped out with the local Habitat for Humanity build probably in June, I think that was.
Big community
so we were
effort.
out. Yeah, we were out in Pleasantville with crews.
Right? Yeah.
With crews from all 4 of our locations, helping Stephanie and her team build the house out there. We've done some painting for a community kitchen in downtown Columbus. We've also done some different projects with the Hilliard Area Chamber of Commerce and the like. So,
let me do just a quick shout out, and I don't know if we discussed this last year or it was 2 years ago, to the road paving out there.
Oh yeah, we bought a road.
You bought it. I know we talked about it. Maybe it was a year ago. Has it been longer than that?
Probably a little bit longer. Yeah.
Okay, but I mean, and I don't go out that way all that often, but when I do, I am thankful that you and your company stepped up.
Yeah, it's been a great addition to the community, although our tire and wheel claims are down a little bit at the Toyota store, which kind of hurts our service bottom line.
Glass is half full.
Right,
you know?
right. You always got to be optimistic. But yeah, that's been a great, I mean, just the response that we got from the community. I mean, we have people stopping by, and whenever someone walks in and say, hey, can I talk to a manager? Everybody kind of puckers up a little bit. But like I said, just high fives, from across the community on social media, phone calls, random people that aren't even clients of ours just popping in and saying, hey, thank you. This has been a great thing for the community.
I agree. And again, Kent DeLong with the Buckeye family of dealerships, and we got about a minute left or so. I want to hit the podcast. That's a new deal going on. You're going strong with that.
Yep. So Scott Thomas had the idea a couple 3 years ago to start a podcast, and it kind of went defunct during COVID. Earlier this spring, we started it up again. We record over at WLOH Studios with Mark Bohack, and we have associates, community members, as well as the representatives of the nonprofits that we support. Everyone from Lancaster PD to Habitat for Humanity. We interviewed Jolynn Pugh a few weeks ago from Big Brothers Big Sisters. And then we just had the owners of Gay Fad Studios on last week or the week before, I think.
Boys are great.
Yeah.
So, I mean, boy, there's a wealth of people. Again, just the nonprofit community have to think you guys are the Mac Daddy.
Well, I don't know if it's, do people still say Mac Daddy?
I do.
Paul? Okay.
I'm old, though.
All right. But yeah, we like to support the communities that support us. We live here, we work here, our kids go to school here, and, a lot of our customer base obviously comes from Fairfield and surrounding counties. So it's our little piece to give back.
Ken DeLong, Marketing Director with the Buckeye Family Dealerships. Thanks for being on with us.
Thanks, Paul. That was fun.
Really so much going on. It is very cool.
Yeah.
Just look them up. If you Google or use your search engine, Buckeye Dealerships, you'll find them all out there. All 4 on there.
BuckeyeCars.com. That's us.
BuckeyeCars.com. Thanks, Kent.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you. Last night, the Festival Orchestra put on the Rock the Pops concert out at OUL. First one, and the special guest was Siobhan Cronin. Here's a selection from that performance. Thanks to the Buckeye Lake Marina for bringing that highlight to you of last night's Rock the Pops. If you're looking for a new boat, a great pre-owned watercraft, or a place to get parts for your boat, Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Learn more at buckeyeLakeMarina.com. We are downtown with the Lancaster Festival live show. It's our Wednesday edition, a fabulous day right here. Another beautiful day by the fountain as we look out. The Lancaster percussion ensembles behind us. We'll hear more from them later. So just a big show going on today. And when I say big, I mean big with my next guest. I mean big-time artist from Lancaster, Ohio. An old-time West Side friend of mine, Ed Kitchen. Ed, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, believe me, it's my honor. And I've mentioned this to you maybe before. I look at art, and if I can do it, I don't call it art. And there's been years when there's been things downtown on the Art Walk, well, I could do that. So, but believe me, your stuff is special. I had no idea back in high school, Mrs. Dorothy Ent Coleman,
right.
Dorothy Ent Coleman, Ray Coleman's wife, future wife, that you were this strong in the art world. Were you that strong then, or has it just really developed?
I think that my whole class was pretty good.
Really?
There were a lot of good people.
Really?
Ralph Smith, who's a cartoonist in Florida, he was in my class.
Okay.
There's just a lot of people that did a lot of art. And Mrs. Ent, or Mrs. Ent Coleman.
That's what we remember.
She told me I wasn't going to CCAD, I was going to Ohio State, because that's where she went to school.
That sounds like Mrs. Ent.
She was my neighbor also.
She lived up on, when I remember, she lived up on Broad Street above the fairgrounds, right next door to my wife's uncle, Dwight Kane.
Oh,
who
right.
you knew very well, but she lived up there then. Now maybe she lived someplace else.
She did. She lived on East Fifth Avenue with her mother. There was a double.
Sure. It was probably after that passing, she moved up there.
And then she moved up off of, I forget what street it was, but she had a nice little
married
house.
Ray?
Yes, I think.
Okay.
So,
she was just a wonderful art teacher.
Right.
You just hear so many people talk about those were great years at Lancaster High School.
Right. I would continue to see her next door because Miss Hudson was
Ruth Hudson.
a principal. Right.
Yes.
And she was my mom's basketball coach. And then I would see her and Hannah Thrush.
I love Miss Thrash. She was my favorite teacher at Sherman.
And, well, she was the music teacher at Ewing.
Okay.
And then I would see Dorothy over there. So they were all good friends.
A lot of good connections there. And I will mention that Ed was in the first class to graduate from the Lancaster High School in 1964. We were there when the doors opened. I remember that.
We're not going to be there when they close.
We might go out for a highlight, but that's it. So you were at the Art Walk, and that's really why I got you here. You were at where? Standing Stone for several years?
Right, until they sold it.
Several years, and then that changed. And now you're just right up the hill here, maybe 100 yards away, Arbuckle Thayer. And I think we've got some art right now we're showing from up there. This is inside the vault, am I right?
That is correct.
Money in the vault, is that what you can? Okay.
Well, I wish, but yeah, maybe.
You hope.
Only if you take it up there and put it in there.
So there was huge crowds here as we look at your art up there. How many pictures you have in the vault?
45.
45.
And it would only let 6 people in at a time.
Just like a real bank.
Right.
That's great. So massive crowds, and I'm sure you had your share of them up there.
Right. It's great. It's very nice. I was a little skeptical when the bank decided not to do it because I've always done it.
Oh, yeah, that was a legend. You always went there first.
Right.
That's where our first call
was. It was the only time I was in every one of them except the first one.
Okay.
So then I was at their bank every time they did it. And then when they didn't do it, I was kind of shocked. So then I said, well, where am I going? And
opportunity came up there.
Right, and they're just great. They are great.
Had they had artists in there before on the Art Walk or no?
They asked for me.
Oh, wow.
I know.
That's nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
Well, don't let your head get any bigger. We won't be able to get it on here. Ed Kitchen is our guest with the Lancaster Festival. And so this is what, 30 years maybe for you?
Maybe, right. The only time we weren't on the walk was we were at Equitable Building, and the bank was owned by a bank in Florida.
Yes.
So they did not stay open at night for the Art Walk. So that's the only time I missed it.
Well, those were difficult times when things changed hands.
Right.
That where you were, Standing
Right.
Stone. You kept going to bank buildings, and
Right.
well, now I think you're here for a stay for a while.
I hope so.
So fabulous evening. You probably don't get to see anything on the Art Walk, do you?
I try to run across the street because there are a lot of people think it's very competitive among us, and it is not very competitive.
You mean at Fairfield?
Yes,
Yeah.
At the other bank, because Jim Gherkin is a
Yep.
watercolor. So
They've
he's a
always
good
had
friend.
people there.
And then John Mark, my dentist,
Yes.
is there, and he's an oil painter and now acrylic. So a lot of the people I've known for years, and I enjoy seeing what they're doing. So Donna Noyce is at the old hotel.
Oh, I just saw something something on her and her paintings before. But again, a legendary name around
Right.
Lancaster.
Right, and then one of my former students is down at the Mill Event Center. My oldest student from high school, because I taught high school for 40 years, is 73. It's kind of hard to believe.
He's almost our age.
Right. Well,
Go figure that.
Right.
Would you say in all the years now you've looked over, and I'm sure you've a lot of art walks you've seen and been through and seen that, would you say the quality of artwork has stepped up? Is it better now than, say, it was 30 years ago? I know it's different.
Well, I like it.
Yeah.
I really do like it. I think the Decorative Arts Center has a great exhibit right now. If you haven't seen that, you should go see it. It's paintings and it's glass, and it's just wonderful. I stopped at Gay Fad.
Oh, what a place.
And what a plus they are to the community,
Oh, my.
those boys.
Fran Taylor, I think we remember those days
Right,
back
the
when
West
it
Side.
was originally here. That's right, when she had it over there by the tracks.
Right.
And she closed it 60 years ago, and now it is just, I know her grandchildren and children, they're so happy.
Right. I don't blame them. I mean,
Sure.
and the guys,
Aren't they,
Center
don't they do
Avenue,
a great
right,
job?
Center Alley is very, very nice.
Oh, it's nice.
And Matt and his buildings downtown is just great. And the young people, young to us,
Yeah.
are doing a fabulous job, I think.
Well, the downtown, from where it was back in the anchor buildings, it was so busy.
Right.
And then it goes to pretty lean years.
Right.
And now you come down here almost any night, and it's busy.
Right.
It's nice to see that with Lancaster.
It is nice.
Yeah.
It's always nice to have nice things happen to your hometown.
Do you have a website or any place anybody can do anything?
I do
Facebook?
not. We still do outdoor shows, so we still.
I know you're around Upper Arlington a lot, where you live.
And we do 8 shows a year in the
Nice.
summer. So we end up in Cincinnati, and
Okay.
215 artists.
Well, you've got a few days left here. Go up to Arbuckle Fair. I don't know what the address is up there. One something East Main. It's the old Fairfield Federal, across from where the new Fairfield Federal is right now. Ed Kitchen has his paintings up there. Fabulous stuff. Congratulations on just another great show down here. So nice to have you on again, Ed.
Well, thank you for being so kind.
Sure. Great to have you on. Ed Kitchen with us. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Mike Shook with the Ohio Glass Museum. Our museum was established to reflect the importance of the glassmaking industry in the history of Lancaster and Fairfield County. We value the support to help preserve that history. This month, we are honored to be chosen by the Buckeye Automotive Family's Buckeye Cares program. Buckeye Cares will make a generous donation with every car they sell. Thank you, Buckeye family, for helping the Ohio Glass Museum.
Fairfield Federal. When it comes to our customers and our community, we go above and beyond to help. Our people make the difference. Personal or business banking, whatever you need, we take it seriously because we know you do. Stop by today at any of our 3 locations and see why the difference is clear. Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan specializes in banking that revolves around you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
What makes Fairhope what it is our staff. It's always a question that we ask, why do you want to be here with us? And what they most always say is, you've touched my life this way. You took care of this person, or I've seen what you've done and I want to do that. And so the staff that have been here know what it takes. They've been on the other side. They see what it takes to make someone comfortable, to make the family comfortable, and really what kind of support they need. And so I think that's what really makes Fairhope what it is.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our 2 locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
The Lancaster Festival returns for its 39th season, July 20th through 29th. Experience 9-time Grammy-winning singer-songwriter Sheryl Crow. Get tickets now at lancasterfestival.org.
Welcome back to Lancaster Festival Live. Paul Jasson with you downtown on just another beautiful afternoon in Lancaster, Ohio for the work today anyway. The Lancaster Percussion Ensemble behind us, and they've had good days Monday through Wednesday, and we'll hear from the percussion unit a little later in the show today. Again, it's a beautiful day down here. We'll be down here Thursday and Friday also. Going to move to our next guest, and it's an annual thing. We get to do this. Kimber Cato, who is media coordinator with the Lancaster Fairfield County Parks. Fairfield County Parks. And that was always a thing. Make sure you get your mic up here. We love to hear your fine voice. I know. I can remember years ago, I was kind of confused by that before this all started coming together, like city parks and not city parks, but it's kind of easy to sort it out now.
Yes, every park is good. There isn't a bad park.
Yeah, that's right.
We like to support each other. Fairfield County Park District, we're more in the outlying areas.
And I was looking at your website. You have a really fine website. Lots of easy to operate. What is it? FairfieldCountyParks.org?
Yes.
FairfieldCountyParks.org. Put that in your search engine or look it up. You can find it. Good website. Lots of interesting stuff on there. Easy to operate. Lots of nice tabs to go on. 1,177 acres, did I read?
Yes. Yes, we recently acquired 40 thanks to the Bill and Joyce Haig Foundation. We were able to acquire 40 acres that combine the previously discontiguous part of Two Glaciers Park.
So now that kind of combined?
Now it's the largest park we have, 356 acres, and not right away, but soon. We're looking forward to some rigorous trails.
So I in one of the plugs I read a little later on in the show, and I'm glad I have you on to talk about it, enjoy art at our plein air. Is that correct? Am I saying that even correctly?
Well, I don't know French, so I say plein air.
And what is that?
Plein air is the French phrase that just means open air,
open
outside.
Air, so outside.
So we're inviting people of any skill level, any age, to come to the dates and times on the website.
Okay.
Bring sketch pad, paint, easel, charcoal, whatever you'd like to use, and paint, draw in the parks. We collaborated with Decorative Arts Center of Ohio.
Yeah.
So their Lisa Shore will be an instructor who was at each event.
Very nice.
And she'll give you help if you want it, or just come and have fun.
Yeah. You get good turnouts for that?
We have. It's the first 2 times there were rain. It was the rain.
Out in the air.
Even so, we still had a wonderful time, and the park was filled with laughter even if we couldn't paint.
This is the Lancaster Festival. It's a particularly good time for the Fairfield County Parks to be showcased. I know they do festival events out there. We see wonderful things like Rock Mill. I think we're all familiar with Rock Mill, but 1,177 acres, how many parks?
Oh, 12 open.
12 parks and more to come. We have no doubt about that. It's a fun time to be outside in the parks, Fairfield County District parks.
Yes.
What's going on other than what we've talked about so far?
Oh, well, of course, you mentioned Rock Mill.
Yeah.
Last year, we didn't have the mill open because of the geostructural repairs.
I know they had to do that, but here we are.
Yes, and so we were able to open in May. It's open every Wednesday and Saturday from 1 to 4. Make sure I said that right. No, 11 to 2 on Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Okay.
1 to 4 every Sunday.
How are the crowds out there? Now, we've had this around for several years now. Not that it'll ever get old, because it will not. But still, after the reopening again, crowds back?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's like anything, maybe slow one day and busy the next.
Sure. But and you actually, what is it, corn? You do corn milling, grilling?
Last Sunday. Yep. Last Sunday of each month.
Last Sunday, so you actually have a date for that.
Yes.
Yeah. So after they kind of redid that, repaired and everything back sound and looking good again?
Yes. However, our wonderful staff and volunteers are working frantically to get a new pump in. The pump went out the other day, last week, and they're trying desperately to get the new pump in before the Sunday when we can mill.
That's, I guess, the in today's supply chain world, I don't know if that'll be an issue with that, but lots of times it can be difficult to get unusual items, perhaps like yours is an unusual item.
Yes, it is. I can't remember from what state we had to get, but you cannot go to a local hardware or a supply store.
You're not going to go to Home Depot or Lowe's
Right.
and say, I'd like this pump.
Right.
Not going to happen.
But it did arrive on time,
Oh.
and hopefully we'll have good enough weather that we can get it in before the weekend.
And I don't think we could say enough about all your parks and your volunteers, but certainly for Rock Mill, with the people that have done that work and the volunteers you up there, it took a village to get this thing moving.
Oh, yes. We couldn't do it without the volunteers because they have become skilled millers. And it takes several people to run the mill just to do, and we couldn't do it on our own.
So every Sunday you have to have, just not volunteers, but certain volunteers
Yes.
in. It has to be officially ready to go.
Yes.
Yeah. And how long do they grist things the entire time you're open up there?
They get started
Yeah.
right away, even before we open, but it's such a process. It takes time to get the wheel going because the water has to fill the forebay, and then that water has to power the wheel and get up to speed. So it does take a while. They start even before we open. So even if we're not milling the moment you walk in, there's something interesting
It'll get there.
happening.
One of the places that I remember that's now part of your stuff is the Manberg Lodge.
Yes.
And I remember it as the Manberg Lodge. Maybe now it's the Manberg Park. I don't know. It may have another name.
It's Manberg Park. And
How is that going?
The lodge is Manberg Nature Center.
Yes. Yeah, Nature Center.
Yeah,
That's it.
it's wonderful. The trails are open. We have 2 trails there. One's 1.5 miles, the other is 1 mile. And even though it isn't officially open to the public, anytime we have events, we're opening it. There may not be any displays, exhibits.
Are the trails open all the time
Yes.
or all the time?
Yes.
Nice. A lot going on at the festival. We got about a minute left. Anything else you want to hit about the festival and the parks?
Oh, well, it's been great to be at the festival. And
has.
I'm too easily distracted, so I'm trying to pay attention to you, but I'm listening to the music. We do have like you said, the plein air. We also have our first ever Geo Trail in the parks this year.
Where's that?
At a lot of the parks.
Oh, a lot of
12 locations. What you do is go to geocaching.com, sign up, and then you use the coordinates to find hidden caches.
Now, is there a link on the website to get to that?
Yes.
Okay. Again, it's a great website, fairfieldcountyparks.org.
Yes.
Right. Kimber Cato's been with us. She is the media coordinator for that said Parks District. An exciting time every day, but certainly showcased during the festival. Congratulations.
Thank you
get
much.
A lot of nice things to see. Good luck on getting the mill back up, too.
Thank you.
Good. Kimber Cato with us from the Parks District. And as usual, the festival got underway with its great opening out there at the Basilica of St. Mary's at the Assumption, just up the hill from us now. It was a festival prelude. If you missed it, here's a sample.
Hi, I'm Carol Whittington, and I would like to invite you to stop by Personal Touch Party Rentals and Events, located at 1540 Hubbard Drive in Lancaster. We are a small family-owned business and have been servicing the Central Ohio and Hocking Hills area since 2003. Graduations with a personal touch, weddings with a personal touch, corporate events with a personal touch. Please call us today for all your party rental needs. 740-689-6991.
The Lancaster Festival returns for its 39th season, July 20th through 29th. Experience 9-time Grammy-winning singer-songwriter Sheryl Crow. Get tickets now at lancasterfestival.org.
The Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities is proud to support the Lancaster Festival. There are many different events and programs the Lancaster Festival offers for all to enjoy. The festival brings together many generations and provides ample opportunities for our vibrant community to connect and make lasting memories. Be sure to stop by Fairfield DD's Social Purpose Enterprise, Art and Clay on Main, and Square 7 Coffee House to cool off and enjoy a handcrafted beverage. See you at the festival.
You walked down the aisle and promised happily ever after. Sometimes happily ever after means ending a relationship. We know the conversations are not easy. Deciding what's best for you, your children, and your next steps takes work and communication. At Dagger Law, we know there are no monsters in a divorce, only people trying to find their way. Local, trusted, experienced. Dagger Law.
Great scenes from up at St. Mary's of the Assumption, the Basilica up there, just up the hill from us as the festival opened up. A great opening to the 2023 Lancaster Festival. Glad to be back with you. We are Lancaster Live downtown. As we've mentioned several times, the wonderful Lancaster High School percussion ensembles across the street doing their summer performance and enthralling the big crowd that's over there right now. Let's go listen to the Lancaster High School Percussion Ensemble.
Ladies and gentlemen, from as far north as St. Paul, as far south as Orlando, as far west as San Francisco, and as far east as Orenburg, Russia, we welcome you to the musical Mecca of the Midwest, where we feature everything from the classical rock sounds of Styx to the Latin sounds of Lollapalooza, from the ragtime sounds of George Hamilton Green, to the familiar pulsations from Rush. Ladies and gentlemen, Lancaster High School proudly brings you these sounds of the #1 group of its kind anywhere. From the percussion capital of the world, your Lancaster High School Percussion Ensemble.
And that's the Lancaster High School Percussion Ensemble, who last night played a couple of tunes out at the OUL Wendell stage out there with the Rock the Pops concert. And I saw a lot of people go by, school people go by here, of course, a lot here for this. But I did want to mention my close personal friends, Steve Poston from Thomas Ewing and Scott Burry from the Lancaster High School. They're over there with probably lots of Lancaster High School people. And that clip from the percussion ensemble was brought to you by Kimber Cato, who we just talked to in the Fairfield County Parks District. Experience forest bathing at Waukena Nature Preserve. You can walk the trails at Smeck Park in Baltimore or Manberg Lodge here in Lancaster. And visit Rock Mill on a milling day to see how corn was ground back in the 1800s. You can also get creative with others who enjoy art at the Plein Air in the park sessions. We found out that's outdoor sessions there. So get out, explore, and discover these and other fine programs from your Fairfield County Parks, fairfieldcountyparks.org. Let's take a look at the calendar and what's going on here for the rest of the festival, which we're just about at the midpoint of that. I think after tonight we'll be on the downward side of that. Here's the calendar brought to you by the Melissa Walker and all the folks at Walker Shoe Center, a true sit-down, get your feet measured shoe store, 737 East Main Street. Later this afternoon, just a few minutes away at the top of the hour, the festival string quartet performs at Olivedale Senior Center out on Boving Road. The cafe concerts, they're going on, featuring the festival orchestra's Young Fellow recipients, or Rising Stars. That begins at 3 p.m. out at Cheers Chalet. Then tonight, it's the popular night concert, just always a big house out here at the OUL Wendell Concert Stage. Celtic folk rock House of Hamel opens up for the Red Hot Chili Pipers, a bagpipe rock band. So I guess they got pipers and then they got a full rock band with them all the way from Scotland. That fun begins at 7:30 tonight. Tomorrow, Major Arts for Minors, Printmaking Tour and Try, where youngsters learn all about the printing process at the Decorative Arts Center at 10 a.m. Also at 10, it's the Children's Corner, Ohio Tales and Legends with Bob and Ellen Ford. That'll take place at the downtown stage. Then it's the Festival Orchestra Ensemble will begin on the Zane Square stage for lunchtime performance tomorrow starting at noon. The Festival Orchestra Ensemble, so they always do such a great job. So that's what's coming up for the next day or so here at the Lancaster Festival. We are downtown for our Wednesday edition, drawing to a close. We'll be down here Thursday and Friday, 2 more editions. Looking forward to you and just talking about all things Lancaster Festival. So we thank you for watching. Remember, you can watch all of these programs that we've mentioned live and on replay right here on Spectrum Channel 1021 or the CLN Your Hometown Connection YouTube channel, or by going to the Interface Video Facebook page and click on the live link. So for everybody here at Interface Video, all the guys in front and behind the camera, Bob Campetti and the crew, thanks for joining us. We'll be back Thursday and Friday at noon for Lancaster Festival Live. Have a great day.
Fairfield Federal, in cooperation with Interface Video, presents the Lancaster Festival, live from downtown. Also brought to you by the Frank E. Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield DD, Buckeye Toyota, Fair Hope Hospice, Walker Shoe Center, Personal Touch Party Rentals, Fairfield Parks, Buckeye Lake Marina, and Dagger Law.